Hi dreamers, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today for the second video in the Back to Basics series. This video was requested by the Inked Guru. Thank you so much for watching. And what we're going to talk about today is contouring. So we all look at Kim K and go, she doesn't look like that without makeup. She's got like 60 pounds of makeup on her face. And it takes her like 3 hours to do her contour every single day before she leaves the house. Let's get real, that's not possible for all of us. We've also seen pictures like this that look very complicated and we have no idea where to start, and how are you even going to begin to look like that or fit it into your morning routine. So what I'm going to show you today is my contour routine, which involves 3 powders, 3 brushes. It's very simple and it takes me 3 or 4 minutes in the morning, max. Once you get really good at it, you can get to that point where it's just super fast, super easy. You're gonna look sculpted, you're gonna look glowy, you're gonna look healthier, and you're gonna love it. And you can do it very inexpensively. I'm gonna show you some drugstore products. I'm gonna show you a couple of high-end products that I really like to use for contouring, for blush, for highlight, because that's what we're talking about today. Again, with the Back to Basics, it's not so much the products that you buy or how much you pay for them, it's the brushes that you use and where you apply the product. So I'm gonna zoom you in and we'll get started. Okay, so this is a before. I have done all of my face makeup except for contouring. I've done my foundation, I've concealed my under eyes, I've set my face, I've done my eyes. Now I'm going to contour. Now, I will say before we begin that one tip that I will give you is, depending on the foundation that you use, you might want to not do this right after you apply your foundation. I find that with quite a few foundations, if you try to do this right after you apply the foundation, you will actually move the foundation underneath these products, no matter how light of a hand that you use. So I would recommend, if you are like me and you do like to do your foundation before your eyes, go ahead and do your foundation, then do your eyes, and then come back and finish the rest of your face. If you're a person who likes to do your eyes before anything, do your eyes, do your foundation, and give it 5 minutes to really set before you start putting anything else on top of it, to ensure that you don't mess up your foundation. So what we're looking for with contouring is we're looking for 3 different types of products. You're looking for a contour color, a blush, and a highlight. Now this does not have to be super complicated, but I am going to give you some tips to help you pick the right product. First off, bronzer and contouring colors are not the same thing. What we're looking for in a contour color is we're looking for something to create shadow. We're looking for something to detract attention. So these are areas that we want to take people's attention away. So we're going to carve out right here on our cheeks. We're going to sort of warm up around our face, which you can do with a bronzer, but this absolutely needs to be a contour color. If you are like me and you have jowls, we are also going to go down the side of our cheeks to take the emphasis away from those jowls. I'm also going to do a little bit of contouring on my nose. This is completely optional, not something that you have to do, but you can shape your nose with a contour color. You don't want to do this with a bronzer. A bronzer is a product that is going to warm up your face. It's going to be very warm in tone. For example, in this Makeup Revolution palette, if you look at these couple of products right here, these are very, very warm colors. These will not work for a contour color. What you are looking for in a contour color is you're looking for something that, number one, is matte or has very, very little shimmer to it. We don't want to go in and try to create a shadow with shimmer, because that's not going to detract attention. It is going to do quite the opposite and bring attention to those areas. So what we're looking at And I'll start with one of these products. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. You're looking for something like this. Now this is still a bit on the warm side. If you have pink undertones, then this probably won't work for you. But you can see how this is completely different than that other bronzer. It's very matte. You know, it's hinting towards a little bit more grayer of a tone. This is a fantastic palette. There is another one of these. This one is in Dolce de Leche. There is another one of these Wet n Wild palettes that has a much better color if you have pink undertones. If you have neutral undertones or yellow undertones, then this color will work great for you. A couple other really affordable options that you can get at the drugstore. Now this is a little on the expensive side for drugstore, but the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro Palette, this has quite a lot of products that you can use for not only warming up your face, but also for contouring. So let me give you an example. This would be a color that I would use to warm up my face. This would be a color that I would use to contour. You see how this one has a little bit much more of a warm tone, and this one has much more of that gray tone to it. So this is a great option. It also has highlighters in there. Another great option is the e.l.f. Contour Palette. And this is what it looks like. You have a great powder for setting your under eye. You have a very subtle highlight. You have a tone here to warm up your face, and you have a contour color. And again, I will show you the difference between those two colors. This is the one that I would warm up my face with, and this is the one that I would contour with. Another great affordable option is the Maybelline Master Contour. This has all three of the elements that you need. It has a contour color, a blush, and a highlight. So these are all really fantastic options for bronzers. I'm going to use my absolute favorite bronzer today, which is a high-end bronzer, and you can tell that it is my absolute favorite. But this color really just works well for me, and I think it's going to show up on camera a little bit better than those other ones. This is a Kat Von D Everlasting Face Shaper Bronzer in Shady Business 1. Now, the key to doing your contour color is really your brush. Now, there's a couple of brushes that I like to use, and these are, you know, you can find very similar things to these in all different lines. The most affordable option that I have, and it's got one of my hairs on it, this is sitting on my desk. This is a Luxie 504 large angled brush. This is an affordable option. It's really great because it has that slant to it, so you can really get in that contour. I find that with the size face that I have and very small face, I really enjoy the Sephora. This is the Pro Contour. This is actually the blush contour, but I use it for my regular contour. I like it because of the very small shape. Another great option is the Real Techniques contour brush, but I'm actually going to use this one in this video for highlight. But this is another option. I wish I had two of these, but I only have one in my collection right now. But you could use this for your contour and then use another one for your highlight. So the first thing that I'm going to do when I contour is I'm actually going to make some pretty funny faces. So I'm going to dip into my product here. I'm going to pull my face to the side like this. And that's the line I'm looking for. I'm looking for underneath my cheekbone. And I always start from my hairline and work my way down. Now you don't want to come all the way to your mouth. You want to stop kind of right where your eye is. And pull that on the other side as well. And I always like to pull down from my hairline so I know that I'm not going too far. Now, you can skip to your warming up color if you want to, or you can stay with the contour color. I generally stay with my contour color, and I'm going to hit the top of my forehead here, kind of where the sun would hit me. Now, since I have bangs, this doesn't really show up. But I'm just going to go across my forehead and all the way down here. Now, if you don't have jowls, you can absolutely stop here. You don't have to do the rest of the process. But if you've got this jawline like I do, and you look at it and you go, I kind of want to hide that. Take some more of that powder and connect it to where you started, and just kind of go along your jawline right on those jowls. And what we're doing, again, with the contour shade is we are just taking emphasis away. Now, to do my nose, I like to use a flat brush like this. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush. e.l.f. has a new one out as well, and I don't have that one yet, but I've heard it's absolutely fantastic. But anything, you could use even, you know, a fluffy blending brush. You could use, you know, a domed brush. You can really use anything that will fit alongside of your nose, but you want to make sure that it's not, you don't want a big, fluffier brush like this. So I'm just going to tap into that product, and I'm just going to sort of very lightly dust the sides of my nose. And I'm going to kind of curve that in just a little bit to make it look smaller, and just a little bit right on the top. Now I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to hit that line underneath my chin, because what that is going to do is that's going to emphasize the shadow, the depth of this particular area, and actually make my lips look fuller. So that is all that I am going to do with a contour shade. Now what I'm going to do, and it's down here, is I'm going to go in with a blush. Now you can pick any blush that you want to. Pick your favorite blush color, your favorite blush brush. I'm actually going to be using the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani blush palette today, and I am going to go into Hush, which is right here. And I'm just going to follow that contour line that I did. And I'm blending down into it. So I really am on top of that contour line. And blending back all the way into my hairline. Now I'm staying off the apples of my cheeks, because what I want to do is I want to go in with a lighter color, and I'm actually going to take this color in Cherry right here, a little bit of a lighter color, and kind of pop that on the apples of your cheeks. And that will give you a nice sort of healthy look. If you are a younger person, you can just pop that same blush color all over your cheeks. You can pop that same blush color all over your cheeks if you want to. This is just the way that I do my contouring to really make my cheeks and my jawbones pop. All right, let's talk highlighters. A highlight is the opposite of our contour. What our highlight is going to do is it's going to emphasize areas that we want to really stand out. We're going to do the tops of our cheekbones, a little bit on your eye right here, and we're going to kind of just brighten up our face a little bit, make it look healthy and glowy. A couple of different options for highlighters. One, you can go subtle. If you go with like this Maybelline highlight, this is a very nice sort of middle of the road highlight. It's shimmery, but it's not overly so. If you want something that's a very subtle highlight, go to the highlight in that e.l.f. palette. You can see that that's going to be a little bit more subtle. It doesn't have very much shimmer in it at all, but it is definitely going to lighten things up. If you want something that's just going to pow and give a lot of impact, try the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked highlighters. My favorites are in Gold Lights and Peach Lights. And this is going to give you a whole lot of impact, because there is a lot of shimmer, there's going to be a lot of glow there. So it's really up to you. If you're a beginner, I would suggest that you start with something that's not quite so out there, to kind of give you a little bit of an option to build up if you want to, or to go bigger. But I would start with something more subtle to get the technique down. There's a couple of different brushes that I use for highlight. The main one that I use when I'm doing just my regular everyday highlight is the Real Techniques contour brush, which I mentioned before. If I'm going to be doing a Super Pow highlighter, one that I know is very, very glowy, I'm gonna go for a fan brush because I can just easily dust that on and I can always build up and add more, but it's really hard to take away, especially something like a highlighter. It is really, really hard to take away. So start light and build up. This one is the It Cosmetics fan brush, but there are all sorts of different options out there. This is the only fan brush that I have in my collection because it's not one that I use on the daily. So I'm actually going to dip back into that Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, and I'm going to go into the color Angel, which is a little bit more of a powerful highlight, so I think that you'll be able to see it a little bit better on camera, but at the same time I'm not going to look like a disco ball. So I'm just going to tap into that, and I'm going to find where my cheekbones are and where I put that blush, and I'm going to go just right along the top of that. And I like to kind of go all the way around my eye in sort of a C shape, just because I think that it gives me just a really nice pop to my eye. And since I do have bangs, having that on the side as well is kind of a nice transition between my bangs and the rest of my face. But if you just want to do your cheekbones right here and then kind of along your brow right here, then absolutely go ahead. I did do highlight earlier when I did my eye look under my brow, so I'm not going to do extra there. I will cover eye looks and highlighting and eye looks in another video. Now to warm up the rest of my face, to highlight the rest of my face, I'm going to go down the center of my nose, but I'm going to skip the tip of my nose because I don't want to look like Rudolph. I know that that is a really popular thing. You see it all over Instagram, you see it all over YouTube, but I'm trying to not accentuate the very tip of my nose because I don't want to walk into a room and people go, did you forget to powder your nose? Or look at her nose. So I'm going to skip that part of my nose, and I'm going to start, and I'm just going to kind of go up the bridge of my nose and just a little bit here on my forehead where I did not warm that area up with the bronzer. I'm also going to take a tiny bit and I'm going to sort of hit underneath my chin because I want to take away from the lines that I get, the laugh lines right here. So if I have a little bit of highlight right there, then that will help. I'm also going to take a little bit on my finger and pop that on my Cupid's bow because that will help accentuate that area, and since I have very small upper lips, will just help to accentuate the shape of my lip. So that is the complete contouring routine. If you do put this much product on your face, I have primer, I have foundation, I have concealer, I have set my under eyes with powder, I have put powder over quite a few areas on my face and my T-zone to really set my foundation. Now I've come in with contour and blush and highlight. This is why I recommend a setting spray. If you are doing a very simple look, skip the setting spray. You don't need it. If you're doing a contour look like this, even a simple everyday look, it starts to look powdery. So if you come in with a setting spray and you let that dry down, what it will do is it will help to eliminate the powdery look that you get from this many products. Thank you guys so much for watching this second video in the Back to Basics series. If you have any requests for other videos that you would like to see in this series, please leave me a comment down below. And if you like this series, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I am having so much fun filming these so far, so please send me your requests. Otherwise, I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do because it's my channel, right? Thank you guys so much for watching today, this second video in the Back to Basics series. Again, if you have any requests for videos, things that you would like to see, going back to just makeup for beginners, leave me a comment and let me know. And if you like this series, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you would take a few seconds to share on your social media channels to really just help me out. I would really appreciate that. Again, thank you so much for watching today. Stay tuned because I've got some great stuff coming up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.